Hello English 101I students. I hope you're all doing well. If you are here in the United States, which I think most of you are, I hope you had a really nice Halloween weekend, that you had some experience of what that tradition is like in the United States. I know it's not like it usually is. There's probably a little less celebration going on out there due to the pandemic, but I'm sure you got at least a flavor of it and you got to try some Halloween candy. My two children are definitely enjoying their share of Halloween candy today. All right, so moving on to week 12. It is really hard to believe that we are about 3/4 of the way through our semester, so we only have about 3 weeks or so before we start to head into finals week. You don't have a final exam for this class, but we will have a final essay to write. But for now, we're going to focus on the third essay, the third major essay that you're going to be writing the draft for by next Sunday. So as always, you can go into course information and download your course calendar. I've already got mine open right here. We'll scroll all the way down to week 12. And you'll see that this week you don't have any homework assignments because last week you spent all of your time preparing for this essay that you will be working on this week. So 6.2, 6.3, and 6.4 are all going to be preparing you for the comparative evaluation essay draft. And so I'll refer to one or more of those assignments as we look at the assignment guidelines for this new essay that you'll be working on. Okay, so going back over to Blackboard, we'll go into My Classroom, into the course modules area, and then all the way down to Module 6, the comparative evaluation. So you already did a few assignments in Module 6 last week. So you did 6.2, where you learned a little bit more about formal academic writing, 6.3, where you learned about how you would organize an essay that compares two works, and that's what you're going to be doing in your comparative evaluation. And finally, 6.4, rhetorical appeals, where you learned a little bit about ethos, logos, and pathos, because you'll be referring to these when you compare two different articles in the comparative evaluation essay. So underneath assignment 6.4, you will see essay 3, comparative evaluation essay guidelines. And here you will be able to download the guidelines, the instructions for writing the essay, which is the first link. The second link is going to be a sample essay that a student wrote in another semester about a different topic. So what we will do is look at the guidelines. I already have those ready to go here. And we'll take a look first at the overview. So for this essay, you'll evaluate 2 paired argumentative essays on a contemporary issue in sports. And of course, COVID-19 is on the mind of everybody. It's kind of hard to escape it. And so I thought, well, this is probably a pretty good topic to examine, considering that it's affected every aspect of everybody's lives, and athletes are no exception. So you'll use the strategy of compare and contrast to determine which essay is more persuasive. So in other words, your own essay should answer the question, which essay makes the better argument, or which essay is more convincing or well written. This doesn't necessarily mean, however, that you're going to write about which essay you agree with more. So you're really just evaluating the strength of the arguments. Even if you disagree with the point of view of one of the essays, you could still say it had a stronger argument. That's still possible. So your own essay should offer an argument, a claim, an opinion, a thesis about the 2 argumentative essays you're evaluating. Your opinion on the controversial issue they're writing about is not relevant and should not be included in your essay. So you're just offering your position on which essay is more persuasive and why. So your audience is just like the previous 2 essays you've written. It's going to be me and your classmates. You will also participate in a peer review for this one, and it's the last peer review you'll do this semester. The very last essay you write in the last weeks of the semester will be just between you and me. There won't be any peer review for that one. Okay, the purpose is, of course, to As it tells us here, illuminate subtle differences or unexpected similarities between two subjects. So you might be showing differences in the articles or even similarities in the articles, but again, the main goal is to show which one is more persuasive and why. All right, so pre-writing is important. This is really going to help you prepare well for this draft. First, of course, you have to read the two articles. I've linked them right here. And the first one, actually, I've provided another link to that within Blackboard. I'll show you that in just a moment, and I'll explain why. So you'll read these two argumentative articles on resuming professional sports in the COVID-19 era, and you'll decide which essay is more convincing, more persuasive, and better written. And you might need to read the article several times. Just like in the beginning of the semester, you learned about annotation techniques. Take these two articles, if necessary, print them, and go ahead and just make notes in them to kind of pick out what you think works well or doesn't work well in the two articles. The first one you'll read is called Sports Can't Restart Safely Right Now by Abrar Karan and Ranu Dhillon. Okay, this article, it's possible that you could click on this link, and you can do that just by hovering over it and then hitting Control and then clicking on it, and that should take you right to your link. You also see it linked there. The problem sometimes with some newspaper articles is that they often have paywalls, and you have to have a subscription to be able to access the article. I was able to access the article through our databases because I got locked out of it after trying to open it up a few times. So what I did was, to make your life a little bit easier, I went ahead and uploaded a PDF of it right here in the guidelines area. So you should be able to download it there and read it easily. Okay, the other article comes from tennis.com, and it's called The Show Must Go On, Let Sport Resume, Even Without Fans, for Our Health by Richard Evans. This one you shouldn't have any problem accessing. So it's kind of interesting to be able to read these two different perspectives. You probably have feelings about the topic one way or the other, but your goal is to say which of the articles presented a better case, which one is more persuasive and why. So the next thing you'd want to do after reading the articles is go ahead and just write some brief summaries of each essay for yourself, about a paragraph or less, just to get started. And this is for you, just to make sure that you understand the content of the articles, that you get what the main ideas are. Then number 3, write a working thesis statement that expresses which essay you found more persuasive and why. Okay, so that's going to become like the last sentence in your first paragraph of your draft. Number 4 is to create a list of reasons why you found one essay more convincing or a better argument than the other. And below are some questions for you to consider. So which one more clearly states its position on the issue? Which one attempts to build common ground with its readers? And then you'll look at all these elements of logos, pathos, and ethos. Remember, you were learning about that this week. So which essay has stronger, more persuasive evidence and clear explanations? That would be logos. Which one appeals more to the emotions? Pathos. And which one has more effective ethical appeals, and even includes maybe ideas or arguments from experts in the area? That would also fall under the ethos category. Okay, so you'll take these initial parts and use them to compose a persuasive essay of your own. So here's your suggested organization. Okay, your title will indicate what your essay is about. It shouldn't include the titles of either essay you're evaluating. So that would create a very lengthy title if you included both of the full titles. So it should be your own unique title. The introduction would have an attention getter, necessary background information, and in that necessary background information, you should there include the titles of the articles you're evaluating. Readers will need to know that. And your thesis, which you already should have created in number 3 above. Okay? And then your body paragraphs would be brief summaries of both essays, which you would have worked on in your pre-writing, about a paragraph for each one. Cite the reasons why you found one essay more convincing than the other. Limit your argument to about 3, 4, or 5 main points. So that's approximately 5 paragraphs or so. Aim at about one paragraph for each reason, or one paragraph per essay for each reason, and develop each point fully. So bring in quotations, paraphrases to support your reasoning and show what you mean. And then finally, you'll conclude by drawing the various parts together and restate your thesis in the beginning of your conclusion. And maybe you can offer a brief personal comment on this controversial issue, how you responded personally to the essays at the very end. Okay, so you'll see a sample essay that you can take a look at right there with these guidelines in the Module 6 folder. And as far as other submission details, they're very similar to what you did for the first two essays. The final version of your essay will be 3 to 4 pages, but your draft, which is due next Sunday, November 8th, would be about 1.5 to 2 full pages. Okay, the MLA format is the same. Also, you'll need to include a works cited page with the citation information for the 2 articles you're writing about. So just as a reminder, I gave you here the format for a website, and you're going to follow this same format for the 2 articles that you're working with. Notice here that I've given you 2 authors' names because one of the articles does have 2 authors. The other one just has 1. So if you have 2 authors, it's going to go last name, first name, and first name, last name. If you just have 1 author, it's just last name, first name. Okay, and then the other elements should hopefully be familiar to you from the personal argumentative essay. You'll have the title of the article in quotation marks, the title of the publication, the newspaper, the website in italics, the date the article was published, where we can find it on the internet, the website address, and then the date that you accessed it. You decide what that date is. All right, the due dates. We are following a very similar procedure to other essays. You'll submit your draft by next Sunday, so you have a full week to work on it. A minimum of, it can be 1.5 to 2 pages. The Turnitin links are right there in Module 6. So you'll see comparative evaluation essay draft. The final version is down here, and the peer review assignment is in the middle, but the peer review will come the week after. So you don't have to worry about that right now. Okay. And of course, don't forget about using the time in between November 8th and November 22nd to get help. Several of you have been excellent with that. You have made appointments with me or have come during office hours, and I think it has gone very, very well. Others, I believe, have even taken advantage of the Writing Center already, online and in-person appointments. So definitely don't forget about the Writing Center. They're really great there. And then the final version of your essay will be due Sunday, November 22nd. Also, if you need an extension for the final version of your essay, Sunday, November 22nd, you can let me know by the 21st, and you can use an extra day if you need it, if you haven't requested that for another essay. Okay, grading will be the same rubric that I use to grade all of your essays. Okay, so that's pretty much everything for the comparative evaluation. So don't forget with the draft, it's your first try on it. I'm not grading it formally yet. I will give you full homework points if you have the complete length and you've submitted it on time. The goal of the draft is just to give you a chance to try it out, to see what you can do with it. I'll give you lots of feedback, and I'll tell you everything you need to know to be successful on the final version of your essays. So just do your best job, and I have utmost confidence in you. Okay, so that's everything for this week. You really just have this one assignment, is to work on this comparative evaluation essay. And from there, we'll be moving on to, just to take a quick peek at our calendar here, we have just a few more homework assignments coming up in week 13. You have the final version, and actually in week 13 that includes peer review. 6.5 is peer review. We have a few more homework assignments, only 3 more homework assignments in Module 7. And that's kind of leading us into the last essay that you will do, which is the reflective argument essay, and that's coming in finals week. So that's in place of doing a final exam, you do a final essay. So, we're really close to the end. We only have a few weeks left. So, I hope you have a great week. I hope everything goes well with this assignment. And please, please let me know if you have any questions. Have a great week.